just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
In this bulletin, 9 days remain until new Fiji flag competition closes. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama calls Samoan PM a lapdog of Australia and New Zealand. And the buck stops with drivers when it comes to road fatalities, says police. Extra police officers deployed for events around capital city. UN Forum told Fiji's indigenous people are in control of their destiny. And local musicians losing $100 million annually to piracy. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. Fiji's indigenous people are firmly in control of their destiny. This was the submission to the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues from Jean Bai, the first secretary of the Fiji mission in New York. Also making a submission was Member of Parliament Niko Nawaikula, who said the government is breaching the group rights of native Fijians with abolishment of the Great Council of Chiefs. Maggie Boyle with this report.
First Secretary Jean Bai says the Itoke enjoy full rights to land, culture, institutions and religion, with all these rights firmly protected within the 2013 Constitution and the nation's written laws and regulations. Leading the Fijian government delegation at the UN Forum, Bai said in no way should the rights of the Itoke be perceived to be under threat, adding that Fiji's constitution is consistent with the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. However, Member of Parliament and the Fiji Native and Tribal Congress, Niko Nawaikula, told the forum that the government has breached the group rights of native Fijians.
As I speak, and as admitted by the First Secretary, the Fiji government has passed laws. It has terminated the Great Council of Chiefs. It has nationalized our customary institutions. It has nationalized the control and management of our native land. It has taken control of our schools, of our native schools. And we want to say that we want to pray that this must stop.
Nawaikula concluding his submission, calling on the UN to act.
And my custom, the land as I is. What is it? And it is very, very, very sad indeed. And this is the reason why our chiefs have brought us here to raise this. And we have come here on the wings of the prayers of every indigenous Fijian to come and make this plea to please intervene on our behalf.
The forum is an advisory body with a mandate to discuss indigenous issues related to economic and social development, culture, the environment, education, health and human rights. Accompanying Nawaikula is former parliamentarian Asanava Vauvau and lawyer Rajendra Chaudhry. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum has briefed Commonwealth Secretary General Kamala Sharma on the economic strides made by Fiji in recent years and the opportunities for investment of foreign capital. They talked about the objective of the Fiji First government to create strong independent institutions as provided for under the Constitution. Said Qayyum and Sharma also discussed the successful Universal Periodic Review report of Fiji at the UN Human Rights Council. A statement says Sharma recognized the enormous strides that Fiji has made and congratulated Fiji on the successful holding of the first truly democratic elections held under the new constitution. Musicians need to adopt new technologies to produce more sophisticated recordings so that their work doesn't get pirated. This is one of the recommendations made at the World Intellectual Property Day event in Suva today. Chanel Sivan tells us more.
The music industry loses at least $100 million annually to piracy. And it's getting worse day by day, with pirates using new methods to tarnish the struggling industry. Fiji Intellectual Property Office Head of Enforcement Terence O'Neill-Joy says the time has come now for artists to taste new technologies.
The only problem with this disc is not its popularity, and it's not that it's already been pirated, but in order for this disc to reach a global market, is it needs a barcode. It has no barcode. It has no SID code. Why? Because it's burnt.
Originals like this famous Makare label can be replicated easily. It is burnt into a normal CDR and has no security features. The Fiji Intellectual Property Office suggests that musicians digitally encode their work, as is the case in Malaysia.
Technology is just across the water in Auckland and Sydney and in Melbourne. So sooner or later, if we want to get into that global market, we have got to be much more sophisticated with how we deliver the music to the public.
The recommendation has been welcomed by the Fiji Performing Rights Association.
Fiji is a very, very small market. To be able to earn revenue that is worth the effort that's given to it, it's important that it goes out into the global market, and you must get global protection to ensure that you get the best return.
Fiji's struggling music industry can also be saved if lawmakers honestly enforce the Copyright Act of 1999. And the Fiji Performing Rights Association says it's a major loophole which enable pirates to get away, making millions each year. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Police have confirmed that Australia's top Islamic State recruiter, believed to be of Fijian and Cambodian descent, has had no direct association with Fijian nationals. The Australian newspaper reported it was Prakash who instigated the alleged Anzac Day terror plot that resulted in the arrest of 5 young men in Melbourne. A statement by Police Chief of Intelligence ACP Henry Brown says there is no threat to Fiji. He adds they are in constant communication with their Australian counterparts regarding any major developments. Still to come on FBC News, another new 5-star resort to be developed at Denarau Island.
Ya vino pale pronto kwa chuma ni mwezi mmoja na bula FM namba 2 na siri na ngona ni ndende manda ke central rental sapo ke kana rusho na kuita minichi me bana koloko. Ni sabola.
Oya wa tisoni dalai.
Gonga ya mwezi domi.
Nama kikirau mena tolu kene bitu. Ena via kabi moni tikena porombuka.
Goria na lali ne kabi. Bula FM namba 2 na siri.
My name is Luca. I live on the second floor.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Mulubinaka, for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's 'cause
Construction of a new resort will begin in Nadi later this year. It is the latest of a number of hotels and resorts being built across the country aimed at meeting increased visitor arrivals.
The Intercontinental Hotels Group, one of the world's leading hotel companies, has signed a management agreement with local property developer Avosa Limited to open the first Holiday Inn resort in Fiji. The 173-room resort will feature a high-end commercial and retail center and is expected to open to the public in 2018.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is very encouraging to see Fijian entrepreneurs entering the tourism and hospitality sector. This signing here today marks the 4th Fijian company in the past 4 months that is linked to the tourism sector.
Worth $70 million, the new facility will employ about 250 people during the construction phase and 180 when the resort opens.
Whilst we provide the best and friendliest services, being the happiest people on earth, we need to ensure that we are able to cater to our markets needs in terms of extra activities, especially high-end shopping. We want our visitors to come to Fiji and enjoy our hospitality and not just stay in hotels but go out and spend.
The tourism minister says the development will bring more tourists to the country and push the number of visitor arrivals higher.
The Fijian government's focus is to grow both local and foreign investment and to spread the wealth brought on by these investments to all Fijians. So far, tourism has been the most responsive and proactive contributor towards this initiative.
The Holiday Inn Resort Denarau Island will be the company's third property in Fiji, joining Holiday Inn Suva and Intercontinental Fiji Golf Resort and Spa. It will be located adjacent to the entrance to Denarau Island. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
NGOs providing services to disadvantaged children and disabled persons have received a financial boost from government. Julie Vatwaliwali reports.
6 NGOs received grants of over $47,000 from the Minister of Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation yesterday. The funding was given to ensure there is ample resources available to support the organization.
I trust that you will implement your grants in a timely manner and within the purpose it is given to you. It is expected that you will provide acquittals every quarter to inform us of the progress that is aligned to your prepared proposals.
At the handing over of the grants, Rosie Akbar urged the NGOs who come under the Fiji National Council for Disabled Persons umbrella to put aside their differences.
I urge upon you all to maintain good working relationships with the organizations and with the FNCDP. Within my term, I have come to know that there are some internal rifts between NGOs for people with disabilities, and I believe that this must stop, as it does not bring any gain whatsoever to our work.
The Spinal Injury Association of Fiji received $7,000 from the grant, which will go towards recurrent expenses.
I think it's great to be supported by government and their ministries. We are thankful for the grant. For some it might not be much, but then I guess it's up to you. It depends on how you utilize that funds.
Meanwhile, Rosie Akbar has stated that the ministry will now look to make accessible to visually impaired and speech impaired persons the first National Child Helpline. Julie Vatwaliwali, FBC News.
A new judge has been appointed. Puny judge to the High Court, Achala Wengapuli, was sworn in at Government House this morning by the head of state and before senior members of the judiciary. The Sri Lankan lawyer holds a Masters of Law. He was admitted to the Sri Lankan Bar in 1990 as an attorney at law and worked at the Attorney General's Department for close to 15 years. Judge Wengapuli began his legal career as a private lawyer and also worked as the legal officer for the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. The Ministry for Agriculture is surveying farmers nationwide to get a clearer picture of what they produce for local and international markets. The Farming Household Survey is being carried out in the Central Division.
Officers from the ministry are visiting homes obtaining profiles of farmers. The survey will reveal more about what farmers are producing and where their produce are being marketed. The ministry's chief economist, Poliasi Tuilau, says they are trying to capture as much information as possible.
The areas, acreage of his farms, how big his farm size is. We also want to demarcate between which are the commercial farmers and which are the subsistence farmers.
The teams in the Central Division are expected to complete their surveys by the end of the month. They will then move to the Western and Northern Divisions to gather farmers' profiles from those areas. The information from the survey will then be validated with the results of a national agriculture census that was carried out in 2009. It will also help the ministry shape the agriculture sector for the future by addressing areas where there are shortcomings. Julie Vatwaliwali, FBC News.
If you need somewhere exciting to go after the Coca-Cola Games this Saturday, Park Jam is the place to be. The Digicel Today FM Park Jam is back with a new lineup of entertainers and music this year. The Island Fusion group Rako is one of the exciting groups in a lineup of bands and dance groups. Rako will be using the event to give the people a taste of their upcoming album. Other bands include Makare and Savunin Delai Lomai and Vo.
Because we're full-time performers, we have rehearsals every day. So with this FBC Park Jam, what we're trying to use it for is also our launchpad for our album we're releasing. So we're going to use this as to showcase to everybody some of the original songs that's going to be coming out in our album. So we're pretty excited about that.
People will also get a chance to meet with FBC TV and radio personalities. The event will be held Saturday at the Suva foreshore starting at 6 p.m. And on that note, it's Sports Up next with Jamie.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening. Coming up, 2 sports have been dropped from Fiji's Pacific Games squad, and the stage is set for the start of the Coca-Cola Games tomorrow. We'll have this and more after the break.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulablaga. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
छू 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 हे नमस्ते फीजी। आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट।
Welcome back to FBC Sports. First up tonight, gold medal winners for the Blue Ribbon 100 meters event in the Coke Games will be literally flying away to success. Fiji Airways, in partnership with Fiji Link, will be providing air tickets, domestic and international, for winners in the 100 meters event from the sub-junior to the senior grade, as well as best female and male athletes.
And they will provide 8 return tickets locally and 8 return tickets internationally to the winners of the Blue Ribbon event for the girls and the boys, and also the best male and best female athlete.
And so we're proud to be here today to reward those athletes that put in the time, the effort, and get the rewards that comes with winning the games and something afterwards.
It was a historic event for the Fiji finals after the Coca-Cola Group's managing director for the South Pacific and Indonesia, Alison Watkins, was on hand to receive the game's torch today. This as the torch entered its final stretch towards Suva for the start of the games tomorrow. Josephine Avula has the details.
It was a moment to cherish for the Nandi International Airport staffs as they came out in numbers to get a glimpse of the Coca-Cola Games torch. Athletes of Otualevu College carried the torch to the departure venue before handing it over to Airports Fiji Limited CEO Faiz Khan.
It's an absolute honor for Airports Fiji Limited to be involved in the torch 100-meter dash, as Lawrence puts it. For us, we believe that fundamentally people make places, people make a company, people make a country. And the development of that comes from the youth.
Coca-Cola Amatil's Group Managing Director, Alison Watkins, says it is an honor to be part of the biggest athletics event in Fiji.
I'm just incredibly proud to see the level of enthusiasm that goes into the games, and very, very proud that Coca-Cola is supporting these games and really promoting our kids here in Fiji to be active.
The torch will be making its journey back to Suva today before the Coca-Cola Games officially open at the ANZ Stadium in Suva tomorrow. Josephine Avula, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Khalsa College of Ba is determined to return with 3 gold medals from the Coke Games. The school lost its physical education head of department 2 weeks ago, and the loss has motivated them to win gold for their late teacher.
The HOD was a specialist in athletics, and so it did demotivate the students for a while, but we did have a good talk with them, and we said that you would give something back in return to him just by winning the medals at Coke Games.
And the stage is set for one of the biggest secondary school events in the world as the Coca-Cola Games start at the ANZ Stadium in Suva tomorrow with more than 2,400 athletes from 126 schools. Competition is expected to be as tough as ever. Rohit Deo has more.
Athletes from around the country have flocked to the capital for the meet and all have hopes of picking up a medal or two. Bahasangam College has come with only 3 athletes but is looking at pulling in some honours with a small number.
Coming with 3 athletes to Coke Games, and the 3 athletes they've done well in the zone. 2 of the athletes they've broken the zone records in Bah, and representing Bahasangam College, bringing 3 athletes here, it's a big honour for the school as well.
Ra Provincial will field 38 athletes in the 2-day meet. Their main target for gold is the senior boys 4x400 meters relay.
Going to be really tough, you know. Lots of competition from other schools like Marist, QB, and more other major schools. You know, they've been working hard for this event, especially we are running in the 4x4. We're going to do our best here in the 4x4 senior.
Batu Kalako Secondary School from Yangara has come to Suva with big dreams, but knows it won't be easy going against the Giants.
Aiming for medalists, and we hope we'll come and do our best, and we'll bring the glory to our school and to the Havana of Kalako.
Many athletes took to the tracks today to get a feel-in for the ground on which they start battle tomorrow. In the next 2 days, a lot of dreams will be fulfilled, but many more will be shattered. The grandstand tickets have already been sold out for both the days. If you love the sport of athletics, this is the place you have to be. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
And if you're not there, you can watch the games live tomorrow morning right here on FBC TV with commentaries from Graham Eden, Raymond Stoddart and Indra Singh. 2 sports have been dropped from the Team Fiji squad to the Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea in July. Fiji will not be represented in softball and touch rugby at the Games because of non-committal to their requirements. The announcement was made at the naming of the Team Fiji extended squad. As of today, Team Fiji is still waiting the $500,000 from government for its budget for the 3-week competition.
FASANOC Executive Board is in the process of talking to government of this $500,000 that's coming out of the budget, government's 1/3. The national federations have given in their 1/3, FASANOC has given in their 1/3. The 1/3 short is coming from the government third. So as I said, the Executive Board is currently talking to the government to come up with that.
Sporting federations have until the end of the month to submit their final squads for the regional games in Papua New Guinea, which will be held on July 4th to the 18th. That's it from Sports Tonight. It's back to Jackie now.
A sigh of relief from market vendors in Lambasa who now have a proper place to sell their produce. The construction of the new double-storey new market is almost complete and vendors have already moved in to claim their spots. They will no longer have to endure rain and heat or sell their produce in an unhygienic environment. This new market will cater for almost 500 vendors and has been widely welcomed, especially by vendors who travel a long way to bring their produce to be sold. However, there are some mixed reactions from some vendors on their new space.
So very grateful for what Town Council has done for us, because what they have done where we are now, we are so very happy.
Things they are doing now in the market, cutting everywhere, bodies, length of the stalls and all that. We want, they don't do that because it is a little bit slack in Lambasa town. So they should help us what we need and what we want.
It's a very good market because it's more space for the vendors to supply for us, and a bit clean, but all the vendors is enjoy for our market now.
The cost of constructing the new double-storey Lambasa market was $500,000. And going back to our main story for tonight's bulletin, police have already deployed officers to patrol the greater part of Suva ahead of the Coca-Cola Games tomorrow. However, the principal of Suva Grammar has raised concern about the involvement of spectators as part of the cause of student brawls. Watisoni Rakandroka reports.
Police Chief Operations Rusiati Tunrabu has urged students and spectators to be on their best behavior during the 2-day event.
I just want to say that the police are vigilant and they will be there. Should there be any case that is reported to us or within our site, then we'll have to make an arrest.
Tunrabu says they will be on alert for any activity that may instigate student brawls, and they will also monitor internet cafes, nightclubs and buses. Meanwhile, Subagrama Principal Anirika says they are thankful to the Fiji Police for partnering with them in preparing the students for the event this year.
We are thankful that we can consider ourselves ready. We have prepared our students in all that we need to inform them. And when they go out during the co-games, we believe that grammar school students will make informed decisions.
The police addressed students this afternoon at Subagrama about the games and their conduct as they begin their 2-week break. Police operations will see them monitoring the ANZ Stadium tomorrow, as well as spots where student brawls have occurred in the past.
For tomorrow and also on Saturday, 50 of our men that will be deployed here in accordance with the ANZ Stadium.
The Fiji Police Force is urging the students and spectators that they will come down hard on those who break the law during the games. Parents and teachers are also urged to monitor the students during and after the games. Watisoni Rekonroka, FBC News.
Generally fine weather was experienced over the country today. A trough of low pressure lies slow moving over Vanuatu and extends eastwards over Samoa and Cook Islands. It was cool in Mombasa today, the Bambasinga town recording 28 degrees on the temperature chart. Sabu Sabu, on the other hand, was the hottest centre today, hitting 32 degrees. Tomorrow, generally fine weather can be expected throughout the country. And in our further outlook, fine apart from brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, cool at night. Recapping our top stories tonight. Extra police officers deployed for events around capital city. UN Forum told Fiji's indigenous people are in control of their destiny, and local musicians losing $100 million annually to piracy. To this week's poll question, we're asking, would stiffer penalties for traffic offences be a deterrent for road accidents? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply FBC News. That's all for tonight. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Until then, good evening.
मेरा चांद मुझे आया है नजर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। छाया है नशा मेरे आंखों पर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। रह जाए ना प्यासा मेरा प्यार, मेरे बाहों में भर दे मेरा यार, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। है दोस्तों, मैं हूं जितेन शांडिल। आप रात के बाद हमारे साथ अब रफ्तार प्रोग्राम में 3 से लेकर रात 7 के बीच शामिल हो सकते हैं। मिर्ची FM, इट्स हॉट।